The day Kopa's truth came out, the Pride Lands stopped breathing. One lost cub, one family secret, and one spirit that refused to die. This is the story of the moment everything changed. It started with Vitani and Kopa, trapped, cornered in the jungle. Ken the crocodile with his venomous bite closed in. Shupavu's army surrounded them. The choice was brutal: surrender or be dragged to Zira's spirit. Vitani knew one wrong move meant paralysis. Kopa stood tall, voice shaking, saying he wasn't afraid. They both knew otherwise. Vitani pretended to give in. "We'll come," she said flatly. The croc smirked. Then she kicked dirt into Ken's eyes and shouted, "Run!" Kopa bolted, his paws pounding the earth. Branches whipped past, crocs roaring behind. Somehow they escaped. For now. When dawn broke, the two lions didn't rest. They walked non-stop, every rustle making them glance over their shoulders. But silence brought something else. Time to talk. Vitani opened up first. She told Kopa about his siblings. Kiara, the future queen, and Keon, leader of the Lion Guard. She spoke of the final battle with Zira, of how their mother's hatred consumed everything. Then came something more personal. Zira had poisoned her mind against him. As cubs, they'd been best friends, and she was told Kopa abandoned her, ran off to another pride, leaving her behind. For years, Vitani believed it. Guilt shone in her eyes. Kopa lowered his head. Zira had shattered both their childhoods, twisting the truth until their memories hurt. Yes, Vitani wasn't just broken. She was strong. Strong enough to lead the guard. Strong enough to carry the roar. Kopa almost stumbled at that thought. His old friend, leader of the guard, with the roar? But Vitani confessed her doubts. She'd made mistakes, left her guard behind. She wasn't sure she deserved to lead. Kopa met her eyes. "Everyone makes mistakes," he said softly. "I'm living proof." They walked on, faster now. The Pride Lands needed them. Vitani's guard searched endlessly. Kovu paced. Kiara tried to hide her worry. Then Zazu arrived, shaken. "Sire, a male lion with Vitani." Simba's eyes narrowed. No other males lived in the Pride Lands. He left at once with Nala, Kiara, and Kovu. There they were, Vitani exhausted, and beside her a lion who froze them all. His fur, his eyes, his face, he looked just like Simba. Nala's tears spilled. "Kopa," she whispered. Simba's jaw tightened, but it was true. Their lost son had returned. Kopa took a shaky step forward. "Mom? Dad?" His voice cracked. Kiara's heart dropped. Mom, Dad. That made him her brother. But how could that be? Why had no one ever told her? Nala pulled him into a tearful hug, unable to let go. Simba stood like stone, trying to process the impossible. Kiara looked between her parents, confusion written all over her face. She had a brother? An older brother? The family led Vitani and Kopa back to Pride Rock. But before they could speak, the sky itself seemed to darken. Clouds gathered over the watering hole. Zira's rage was finally alive again. The timing couldn't have been worse. At the watering hole, Shupavu gathered with the army. Zira's spirit hissed in fury. Kopa's return had stirred something powerful. More anger, more chaos, more fuel for her revenge. And then came her plan. Spread rumors, whisper the truth about Kovu and Vitani's dark training. Tell the animals that Kovu tricked Kiara, and that Vitani only wanted the roar for herself. Plant seeds of doubt. Divide the Pride Lands from within. Her laughter echoed with thunder as the dark clouds faded. Back at Pride Rock, the first rumors were already starting to take hold. And for Kopa, it was about to get worse. The next morning, the Pride Lands gathered their courage. Simba, Nala, Kiara, Kovu, and Vitani stood at the edge of the watering hole. The same place where Zira had been brought back before. Kopa stood among them, his paws heavy, his eyes full of ghosts. This was it. The moment to face the lioness who had destroyed his childhood. Rafiki's voice cut through the tension. "Now it is time. Speak your truth, young one. The water listens." Kopa stepped forward. His reflection rippled in the dark surface. His chest tightened, and then he called out, "Zira." The water bubbled, steam hissed, and her face rose from the depths, eyes blazing, mouth twisted in a cruel smile. "Well, well," she purred, "the little prince grew up." Her voice sliced through the silence. "Come to cry about the past, Kopa?" Kopa's paws trembled. Every scar, every memory burned through him. He remembered the torture, the lies, the endless pain. But as everyone watched, waiting for him to speak, Kopa's throat locked. I thought I could," he whispered, his voice cracked. "But I can't." The word shattered the air. Before anyone could move, Kopa turned and bolted. He didn't stop when Vitani shouted his name. He didn't look back when Kiara reached a paw forward. He ran. He had failed them. Again. But then, a voice calm and steady. "Hey, are you alright?" Kopa's head snapped. A lion stood nearby, mane tinged red-brown, a scar etched across his eye. His gaze wasn't threatening, it was understanding. "Who are you?" Kopa asked, stepping back. The lion smiled faintly. "I'm Keon, part of the royal family, and you?" Kopa froze. Keon? The name hit him like thunder. "Wait, you're Simba's son?" Keon tilted his head. "Yeah, why?" Kopa's chest tightened. "Because I'm Simba's son too." The silence stretched. Keon blinked. His eyes widened. "You're telling me I have a brother?" From behind Keon, a voice chimed in. "Ronnie, that's impossible." But Kopa shook his head. "It's a long story, but it's true." The two lions studied each other, disbelief slowly giving way to recognition. Keon thought of Vitani's hints. The strange way Rafiki avoided certain stories, the silences at Pride Rock, and now it all made sense. Kopa explained, his voice low. He told Keon about Vitani, how she'd once been his best friend as a cub, but Zira tricked them both. How Zira had almost killed him, leaving him too broken to return. Keon listened, his expression darkening. He knew Zira's cruelty. She had tried to twist him, too. But then Kopa warned him. "Don't go back to the Pride Lands now, not with Ronnie, not with your cub on the way. Zira's spirit is back, it's not safe." Ronnie's paw went instinctively to her stomach. Keon's eyes narrowed, danger for his mate, for their unborn cub. But Keon was Keon. Protector, guardian, he wouldn't stay behind. "If the Pride Lands are in danger," he said, "then I'll fight for them. Always." Kopa's heart raced. If his younger brother was brave enough to face it all, then so was he. "Then I have to go back," he said firmly. "I can't run anymore." And so together they did. When the lions of Pride Rock saw them approaching, Keon and Ronnie at Kopa's side, the shock rippled again, but this time it was joy mixed with fear. Because now the Pride Lands had not one roar, but two. Vitani's guard, Keon's power, Kopa's return. The stage was set. But in the shadows, Shupavu's army was already moving. The skinks spread lies. Crocs and jackals closed in, and above it all, Zira's spirit whispered with rage. The Pride Lands had gained a prince, but also a new storm. By morning, the whispers had reached Pride Rock. "Can Kovu be trusted?" some animals asked. "What about Vitani? Didn't she train under Zira?" Zebras avoided eye contact. Antelope spoke in hushed tones. Even Timon and Pumbaa kept their jokes short. Zira didn't need to fight them with claws. She was tearing them apart from the inside. But as the family began to steady themselves, a sound rose from the savannah. The snap of jaws, the hiss of skinks, the growl of jackals. Shupavu's army was here. Crocodiles slid from the water, jackals circled, and above it all, the clouds churned black with Zira's rage. This wasn't a battle for territory anymore. It was a battle for trust, for truth, for the very heart of the Pride Lands. At the center of it stood Kopa, the lost prince, the broken cub, the lion whose return had changed everything. Would he rise? Would he forgive? Or would Zira's plan finally tear the Pride apart? The answers were waiting at the watering hole, and the roar of the past was already thundering closer. Till next time, Hakuna Matata.